I am 95 years old. I was dead for 12 minutes. The doctors brought me back, and they called it a miracle. I call it a warning. I did not ask to come back. My body was done. My heart had stopped. The machines went flat. But God sent me back with a message, and I am running out of time to tell you. Before I go, you need to hear this, because what I saw on the other side was not what I expected. And what He told me to tell you is not what you want to hear. But you need to hear it anyway. Before we continue, take this to heart. You were never walking this path alone. If you feel ready, share in the comments what God has meant in your life and let us know where you're listening from. We truly love seeing how far these stories reach. It reminds us that faith connects hearts across every distance. I remember the moment my heart stopped. I was in the hospital bed. The pain in my chest had been building for hours, sharp, heavy, like a fist squeezing tighter and tighter, and then it just stopped. The pain left, the noise left, the fear left. I felt my body go cold, not the cold of winter, the cold of release, like something inside me had been holding on for 95 years, and it finally let go. I could hear the machines, the long, flat beep. I could hear the nurses shouting. I could see them rushing around my bed. But I was not in the bed any more. I was above it. I was looking down at my own body. My chest was still. My face was gray. My hands were folded on top of the blanket. And I thought, so that is what I look like when I am not inside any more. There was no panic, no fear, just a strange, quiet knowing. I am done. I am leaving. And then I felt it, a pull, not a hand, not a voice, just a pull, like a current in a river, gentle, but impossible to resist. I turned away from the hospital room, away from the body, away from the machines, and the doctors, and the fluorescent lights. And I started moving, not walking, not flying, just moving. Through something I cannot describe, not a tunnel, not a hallway, just a thinning, like the air itself was becoming lighter, clearer. The further I went, the quieter it got. No beeping, no voices, no traffic outside the window, just silence. The kind of silence I had not heard since I was a boy, lying in a field at night, staring up at the stars. And then I saw it. Light. Not the light of a lamp or the sun. This was different. It was not bright in a way that hurt. It was bright in a way that pulled, like it was calling me home. I moved toward it. I did not choose to. I just did. The way a leaf moves downstream, the way a bird knows which way is south. And as I got closer, the light became more than light. It became presence. I could feel it, watching, waiting, knowing. I was not afraid. I should have been. I had spent 95 years afraid of dying, afraid of what came next, afraid of judgment, afraid of the unknown. But in that moment, there was no fear, just peace. The kind of peace I had been looking for my whole life and never found. I left everything behind. The hospital room, the beeping machines, the concerned faces of the nurses, my children waiting in the hallway, my wife, gone 10 years now, but still the last name on my lips most nights. I left it all, and I did not look back, because where I was going felt like the only place I had ever been meant to go. But what I found on the other side was not what I expected. The light did not blind me. It clarified me. Everything I had seen on earth, every sunrise, every color, every face I had loved was like looking through dirty glass. This was the first time I was seeing clearly. The colors were not just brighter, they were more real. Like the world I had lived in for 95 years was a faded copy, and this was the original. The sounds were not loud, they were pure. I could hear something like music, but it was not music. It was deeper than that. It was the sound of things being held together, the sound of order, of intention. And then I felt it, the presence I had been moving toward. Not a man, not a shape, but a presence so vast and so patient that I understood in an instant why we spend our whole lives afraid of this moment. Because he sees everything, every thought I ever had, every word I ever said, every choice I ever made when no one was watching. He knew it all, and I was standing in front of him fully known. There was no hiding, no excuses, no version of myself I could present to make it look better. I was seen, completely, and I thought I would be crushed by the weight of it, but I was not. Instead, I felt something I had not felt since I was a child. I felt safe. Not because I deserved it, I did not, but because he was not surprised by what he saw. He had known all along, and he had been waiting anyway. I do not know how long I stood there. Time did not work the same way. It felt like a second. It felt like a century. And then he showed me. Not with words, not with images, just with knowing. He showed me what mattered. Not my career, not my house, not my bank account, or my reputation, or the opinions of people who forgot me the day after I died. He showed me the moments I had loved well, the times I had forgiven when I did not want to, the prayers I had whispered in the dark when I thought no one was listening. He showed me the people I had hurt, the grudges I had held, the years I had wasted chasing things that turned to dust in my hands. And I saw it all at once, not as a list, not as a judgment, but as a consequence. Every choice I made on earth had created something, a ripple, a mark, a weight or a lightness, and I understood for the first time that nothing I did was ever lost. It was all recorded, not by a judge with a gavel, but by reality itself. What I sowed, I reaped. What I gave, I received. What I built, I carried. And then I saw them, the faces of those I had loved who had gone before me. My mother, my father, my brother who died in the war, my wife, younger than I remembered, smiling the way she used to before the sickness took her. They were there, not ghosts, not memories, them, real, whole, waiting. And I wanted to stay. I wanted to run to them. I wanted to let go of the broken body I had left behind and never go back. But then he showed me something I did not want to see. He showed me the world I had just left. The people still living, still running, still chasing, still blind. And he showed me how thin the veil was, how close they were to this moment, how unprepared most of them were. And I felt it. The grief, not mine. His, not anger, not judgment, just sorrow. Because he was watching them run toward the edge, and they did not even know it was there. And that is when he told me. Not with words, with knowing. The way you know the sun is hot without touching it. The way you know fire burns before you put your hand in. He showed me the truth, the one truth most people spend their whole lives running from. You are not ready. Most of you are not ready. I saw them, millions of them, billions of them, running through their days like they have forever, chasing money they cannot keep, building empires that will crumble, collecting things that will be sold at estate sales by children who do not want them. I saw men working 80-hour weeks to buy bigger houses they never sit in. I saw women destroying themselves to look younger, as if youth could be bought back with a needle and a knife. I saw children raised by screens because their parents were too busy building a future that does not exist. I saw people medicating their emptiness with everything except the one thing that could fill it: alcohol, pills, shopping, scrolling, anything to avoid the silence, anything to avoid the question they do not want to answer. What am I running toward, and what am I running from? And I saw what happens when they cross over, when the veil tears, when the heart stops and the running ends. They arrive, and they are not ready. They come clutching their prizes, their degrees, their portfolios, their Instagram followers, their carefully crafted reputations, and none of it crosses with them. None of it matters. None of it was ever real. I saw the look on their faces, the confusion, the panic, the desperate grasping for something solid in a place where only truth is solid. I saw souls showing up empty-handed, wondering why the things they spent 70 years collecting did not come with them. And I felt it again, that grief. Not mine, his. He was not angry. Anger would have been easier. Anger would have made sense. He was sad, the way a father is sad when his son chooses the cliff over the path home, the way a shepherd is sad when the sheep runs toward the wolves. He had been calling them their whole lives, quietly, gently, in the sunrise, in the stillness, in the moment of pain that made them wonder if there was more. And they ignored him, not because they hated him, but because they were too busy, too distracted, too convinced they had time. And now their time was up, and they were standing in front of him, fully known, fully seen, and completely unprepared. He showed me something else. He showed me how short the time is, not just for me, for everyone. The veil is thin, thinner than you think. You are one heartbeat away from this moment, one breath, one accident, one phone call that changes everything. You think you are solid. You think you are permanent. You think tomorrow is guaranteed. It is not. I lived 95 years, and I'm telling you, it passed like smoke. One moment I was 20, holding my newborn son. The next moment I was 95, burying my friends. Time does not slow down. It speeds up, and the older you get, the faster it goes. And the warning is this: you do not have as much time as you think you do. And when your time is up, you will not be judged by what you owned. You will be measured by what you loved, by who you forgave, by whether you turned toward him or kept running. That is what he showed me. That is what he told me to tell you. And that is why he sent me back. I did not want to come back. I wanted to stay. I wanted to run to my wife. I wanted to rest in that peace I had finally found. But he said no, not yet. You have to go back. You have to tell them. I did not want to come back. I need you to understand that. When he told me to go back, every part of me resisted. I had spent 95 years in that body, 95 years of aching joints and failing eyes and a heart that had been breaking down for a decade. I had buried my wife. I had buried my friends. I had outlived the world I knew. And for the first time since I was a boy, I felt whole. I felt light. I felt like I was finally where I belonged. Going back meant returning to the pain, to the hospital bed, to the machines and the needles and the slow grinding decline. Going back meant leaving her, my wife. I had seen her. She was there, waiting, and I wanted nothing more than to stay. But he said no. He did not ask me. He did not give me a choice. He just showed me why. He showed me faces, people I did not know, people I would never meet, people who were running out of time and did not know it. He showed me the message I was supposed to carry, the warning, the truth that no one wants to hear, but everyone needs to know. And he said, "Go back. Tell them. You have a little time left. Use it." So I came back. I do not remember the moment of return the way I remember leaving. Leaving was gentle. Returning was violent. It felt like being shoved back into a cage. The weight of my body hit me all at once. The pain in my chest, the heaviness in my lungs, the cold of the hospital room. I gasped. My eyes opened. The fluorescent lights burned. The machines started beeping again. Alarms went off. The nurses rushed in. The doctors shouted orders. Someone said, "He is back." Someone else said, "That is impossible." But I was back, and I knew why. They called it a miracle. They ran tests. They asked me questions. They could not explain how a 95-year-old man with a failing heart had been clinically dead for 12 minutes and come back with no brain damage. I did not tell them what I saw. They would not have believed me. They would have said it was the lack of oxygen, a hallucination, the brain shutting down. But I know what I saw. I know what I heard. I know what I was sent back to do. And that is the burden I carry now, knowing what I know, living among people who do not know, watching them run toward the edge blind and distracted, while I stand here with a warning they do not want to hear. I am 95 years old. I do not have long, maybe weeks, maybe months. I do not know. But I know this. I was given a second chance. Not for me. For you. I was sent back to tell you the truth about time, about eternity, about what actually matters when everything else is stripped away. I was sent back to tell you to stop running, to turn around, to look at what you are chasing and ask yourself if it is worth dying for. Because you're going to die. Sooner than you think. And when you do, you will stand where I stood, fully known, fully seen, and you will wish you had listened. So here I am, telling you what they told me to tell you. So let me tell you what actually matters, because I have seen both sides now. I have lived 95 years on earth, and I have stood 12 minutes in eternity. And I am here to tell you that almost everything you are chasing does not matter at all. Your career does not matter. I know that sounds harsh. I know you have worked hard. I know you have sacrificed. But when you cross over, no one asks what you did for a living. No one cares about your title or your office or the plaques on your wall. Your reputation does not matter. The opinions of people who barely know you, the image you have carefully crafted on social media, the version of yourself you present to the world to hide the version you are ashamed of. None of it crosses with you. None of it was ever real. Your possessions do not matter. The house you spent 30 years paying for, the car you bought to impress people you do not like, the closet full of clothes you wore once, the garage full of tools you never used, it all stays behind, and someone else will sell it for pennies at an estate sale, and they will not even remember your name. Your comfort does not matter. the temperature of your house, the softness of your bed, the convenience of your routine. You spent decades building a life of ease, and it made you weak. It made you soft. It made you forget that you were made for something harder, something higher. Strip all of that away. Burn it down. Let it go. Because none of it matters. So what does matter? Love matters. Not the greeting card version, not the Hollywood version, the hard version, the version that forgives when it is not deserved, the version that stays when it would be easier to leave, the version that sacrifices without keeping score. Helped when no one was watching. That helped when no one was watching. That matters. That crosses with you. Mercy matters. The grudges you let go of, the debts you forgave, the enemies you prayed for instead of cursed, the grace you gave when judgment would have been easier. Every time you chose mercy over bitterness, you built something eternal. Every time you chose forgiveness over revenge, you stored up treasure that rust cannot touch. Forgiveness matters. Not just the forgiveness you gave, the forgiveness you asked for, the apologies you made when your pride did not want to, the relationships you mended before it was too late. I am telling you, the hardest words you will ever say are also the most important. I was wrong. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Say them while you still can, because you cannot say them from the other side. Faith matters. Your relationship with the God you have been ignoring. The prayers you were too busy to pray. The scripture you were too distracted to read. The quiet voice you have been drowning out with noise for decades. He has been calling you your whole life, in the sunrise, in the silence, in the moment of pain that made you wonder if there was more, in the stranger who showed you kindness, in the child who asked you about heaven. He has been there, waiting, patient, hoping you would turn around. And whether you turned toward him or kept running, that is what matters most, because when you stand where I stood, fully known and fully seen, the only question that matters is this: did you know him? Did you love him? Did you trust him? Not did you go to church? Not did you say the right words? Did you actually know him? You died tonight. What would you take with you when everything else is stripped away? So I ask you now, if you died tonight, what would you take with you? Not what you own, not what you have built. What have you become? Because the answer to that question is the only answer that matters. And I know what you are thinking. You think you have time. You do not have time. I know you think you do. I thought I did too. When I was 30, I thought I had forever. When I was 50, I thought I had decades. When I was 70, I thought I had years. Now I am 95, and I am telling you, it all passed in a breath. One moment I was a young man, holding my firstborn son, thinking about all the years ahead. The next moment I was an old man, standing at his grave, wondering where the time went. It does not slow down. It speeds up. The older you get, the faster it goes. The years start to blur together. The decades collapse into memories you can barely hold on to. I have buried my wife. I have buried my children. I have buried my friends. I have buried people I thought would outlive me by 20 years, and every single one of them thought they had more time. My friend John thought he had time. He was going to retire at 65. He was going to travel. He was going to fix things with his son. He died at 63, heart attack, gone before the ambulance arrived. My neighbor Margaret thought she had time. She was going to start going to church again. She was going to make peace with her sister. She died in her sleep at 58. No warning, no goodbye. My brother thought he had time. He was going to slow down. He was going to spend more time with his grandkids. He was going to stop working so hard. Stroke at 71, gone in a day. They all thought they had time, and they were all wrong. You think you are different. You think you are the exception. You think because you are young, because you are healthy, because you have plans, that somehow you are guaranteed tomorrow. You are not. Tomorrow is not a promise. It is a gift, and it can be taken back at any moment. You are one heartbeat away from where I was, one breath, one moment, one unexpected phone call, one test result, one drunk driver, one blood clot, one aneurysm. The veil is thin, thinner than you think, and you are walking toward it every single day, whether you know it or not. And when you get there, when your time is up, you will not get a warning. You will not get a countdown. You will not get a chance to go back and fix things. You will stand where I stood, fully known, fully seen, and you will face the truth of how you spent your time. And the regret will crush you, not the regret of what you did not buy, not the regret of places you did not visit, the regret of who you did not love, who you did not forgive, who you did not make peace with when you had the chance, the regret of the God you ignored, the calling you dismissed, the truth you ran from because it was uncomfortable. That is the regret that will break you, because you cannot go back. You cannot fix it. You cannot get a second chance. But right now, in this moment, you still can. You are still breathing. Your heart is still beating. You still have time. Not much, but enough. Enough to stop running, enough to turn around, enough to make it right. So what do you do with this warning? You stop right now. You stop running. Turn off the phone. Turn off the TV. Turn off the noise that has been drowning out the truth for years. Sit in the silence. Let it be uncomfortable. Let it show you what you have been running from, and admit it. Admit that you have been chasing things that do not matter. Admit that you have been building a life on sand. Admit that you have been ignoring the one voice that has been calling you home. Say it out loud. I have been running. I have been wrong. I need help. That is where it starts. Not with a perfect prayer, not with having all the answers, with honesty, with surrender. Ask for forgiveness from God, from the people you have hurt, from yourself. Go to the person you wronged and say the words, I am sorry, I was wrong. Will you forgive me? Do it today. Do not wait. Do not let pride convince you that you have time to do it later. Make peace with your children, with your parents, with your spouse, with the friend you have not spoken to in years because of something stupid you cannot even remember. Pick up the phone, write the letter, show up at the door. Do whatever it takes, because when you stand where I stood, you will not care about who was right. You will only care about who you loved. Let go of what you cannot take with you, the grudges, the bitterness, the need to be right, the need to win, the need to prove yourself to people who do not matter. Let it go. It is killing you, and you are running out of time to be free. Find a quiet place and pray, even if you do not know how, even if you feel foolish, even if you have not prayed since you were a child. Just talk to Him. Tell him the truth. Tell him you are tired. Tell him you are afraid. Tell him you need him. He is listening. He has always been listening. Read the words he left for you. Open the Scripture, even if you do not understand it all, even if it feels old and distant. It is a flashlight in the storm. It will show you the way, and live like the veil is thin, because it is. Live like today might be your last day, because it might be. Love harder. Forgive faster. Speak the truth. Make peace. Turn toward Him. Do not waste another moment on things that do not matter. I am telling you this because I love you, and because I have seen what is coming. I am 95 years old. I will not be here much longer. This is my last message to you. Do not waste the time you have left. The warning is simple. Turn around before it is too late. Stop running. Make peace. Find Him. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And tell me in the comments. Are you ready?